Thank you for joining the Washtenaw County Road Commission's virtual public information meeting about the Maple Road Foster Bridge. My name is Tiffany Oliphant. I'm the communications manager here, and I'll be the meeting host today along with our project manager. Right now, I'm letting some folks in the room, so as we go. Okay, thank you. This morning, I'll go over the meeting instructions before turning it over to staff for the presentation about the project, and then we will open the meeting up for your questions. This meeting audio and video is being recorded and will be posted to the project page on wcroads.org in the next day or two. After the presentation, you will be asked to virtually raise your hand during the Q&A, and I'll provide instructions at that time on how to do this from either your phone, the Zoom app, or your computer. The chat feature for this meeting is turned on. If you have a question during the presentation, feel free to ask it in the chat, and I'll address it during the Q&A portion. You can find the chat window at the bottom of your screen. And now joining me today is Aaron Burkholz. That is the Assistant Director of Engineering here at the Washtenaw County Road Commission. And now I'll turn it over to Aaron.
Thank you, Tiffany. Good morning, everyone. As Tiffany said, my name is Aaron Burkholz. I'm the Assistant Director of Engineering here at the Washtenaw County Road Commission. Appreciate everyone taking the time this morning to join us to discuss the Maple Road Foster Bridge and our intentions moving forward on the bridge. This bridge is commonly referred to as the Foster Bridge. For the purposes of this meeting, I will refer to it as the Maple Road Bridge. Technically, it is the Maple Road Bridge. All of the related design documents and inspection reports that we have here at the Road Commission list it as the Maple Road Bridge over the Huron River. But again, I do recognize that it's commonly referred to as the Foster Bridge. In fact, right here on the map that Tiffany's showing, it shows that it is identified therein by Google as the Foster Bridge. Based on the offset of Maple Road, as it crosses the Huron River, this bridge is actually completely located in Ann Arbor Township. Maple Road is a township line road with Scioto Township to the west and Ann Arbor Township to the east. But again, the bridge and the road are actually offset at the river crossing. So the bridge is located in Ann Arbor Township. The reason that is important is because Maple Road north of Huron River Drive is classified as a local county road within the county road network. And improvements to local county roads require cost sharing. A local county road improvement cannot be solely funded by the Washtenaw County Road Commission. Townships are not required to invest their funding in road improvements, in county road improvements, but most often, if there's going to be an improvement realized on a local county road like Maple Road, it is going to be the township that financially partners with the Road Commission. We have many townships here in Washtenaw County who have been great partners with us in local road improvements. But again, I wanted to be sure to point out that the bridge is located in Ann Arbor Township and that this portion of Maple Road north of Huron River Drive is a local county road. Let's go to the next slide, Tiffany. So this indicates that the bridge was constructed in the 1800s. The reason that that's kind of a very general statement is we do not know the exact date of the bridge being constructed. In the inspection documents and in other documents related to the bridge, it's often listed as being constructed in 1876, but actually the basis for that is the patent date that's on the sign that hangs over each end of the bridge. We refer to that as a portal sign. So the portal sign says that the bridge was patented in 1876, But really, that was probably the patent date on this specific through truss design. So the actual date is unknown, but we generally take it as the bridge was constructed in the late 1800s. That's generally when it was regarded as having been constructed. Um, as it indicates on the top of this slide, the bridge is functionally obsolete and structurally deficient. And basically, a functionally obsolete bridge is a bridge that no longer meets current design standards. So in the case of this Maple Road Bridge, the bridge is only one lane, so it's narrow. The bridge has a height restriction to it because it is a through truss bridge, and therefore this bridge would fall into a functionally obsolete category. Other things that could be considered here would be the approaches. The approaches to this bridge, because of them being windy, are considered functionally obsolete by current design standards, current bridge design standards. And this bridge is structurally deficient. Essentially, what that means is that this bridge can't carry current full loads, full highway loads. This bridge, as I would assume all of you know, has a weight restriction on it. It is structurally incapable of carrying full loads, and therefore it's considered to be structurally deficient. Also, the structurally deficient category can be influenced by the deterioration of a bridge over time. So sometimes a bridge that was constructed to be structurally sufficient becomes deficient by the fact of its age and the deterioration that occurs.
Yeah, sorry everyone, we're having some internet difficulties here at the Road Commission, and so I'm assuming that Aaron is rebooting his machine now. I don't know if Tiffany is still on to pull up the presentation. I can try to grab it as well.
We can proceed. Looks like Aaron Burkholz is back on.
Okay.
And Tiffany, if you could share your screen with the presentation, that'd be helpful. We can continue.
So Aaron was going over, so we don't know the exact age of this bridge, and the reasons why it's classified as functionally obsolete and structurally deficient. We did back in 2003, we did extensive rehabilitation to the bridge, which included repairing some of the members of the bridge, replacing the deck of the bridge, and then we put on this post-tensioning system that helped increase the load rating from, at that time, 6 tons to 20 tons. And the goal at that time was to try and get emergency vehicles across the bridge. Tiffany, I don't know if you can go to the next slide. Then I guess previously you probably saw that we will be reducing that to 5 tons with the removal of the post-tensioning system, which you can see here that's hanging. And thankfully we had a boater that was traversing the Huron River noticed that the cable was hanging there. And once we went to inspect it, we noticed the same thing, and we immediately closed the bridge. Because this bridge is a fractional critical bridge, we had to immediately close the bridge. Fractional critical means that if one member of this bridge, being a truss bridge, was to break in some fashion, then potentially we could have a catastrophic failure of the bridge. And so we immediately closed the bridge, and that was back in early June. So thankfully, so with the removal of that post-tensioning system, we'll go through that in a later slide. We will be reducing this down from the current posting or the previous posting of 20 tons down to 5 tons. And then and again, we'll go into more detail on what that posting is. Aaron, are you back? It looks like you might be back.
I am, Brent. Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and leave my video off because that may assist with continuing on with this presentation. And again, apologies. Thank you to everyone attending, and sorry for these technical difficulties. But Brent, thank you for jumping in there. We'll go on to the next slide, the project plan slide, if you would, Tiffany, please. So the project plan for the bridge for the current project includes the removal of the cable post tensioning system that Brent had referenced, you know, that system that was installed in 2003. Again, the advantage in having that cable post tensioning system in place, and the reason that it was placed in 2003, was to enhance the structural load carrying capability of the bridge. Without that cable post tensioning system, the loading that the bridge can handle, it is much less. The removal is needed because we are unsure as to why the cable broke. And as we worked with our design consultants on this project, we were concerned that having not been able to identify the reason for the break, we felt that it was safer and more efficient to remove this cable post tensioning system. But again, that was done with a great deal of thought. We don't take that lightly. The removal is going to be performed in a methodical manner to promote the safety of the contractor crew and to protect the bridge structure itself. So while the work is actively being performed, pedestrian and bicycle traffic on the bridge, as well as boat traffic under the bridge, is going to be restricted. And it doesn't mean necessarily that it'll be restricted 24 hours a day, but while the load is being removed from these cables, we're going to have to restrict access for everyone's safety. As you can imagine, the cables are under substantial tension, and the release of that great tension poses a safety risk to anyone that's near them. Next slide, please. So we've referenced the load rating for the bridge. And so again, working with our bridge design consultants, we evaluated the bridge without the cable post tensioning system. Without the cable post tensioning system, the new weight restriction, and that's commonly referred to as the posting of the bridge, is going to be 5 tons. So it's going to be reduced from previous being 20 tons down to 5 tons. Now the question may be posed, what is included in 5 tons? And there's a illustration here that helps.
As you can see on the slide, we just wanted to give an illustration of what a typical, we lost the slides. So on that illustration, it gave average weights of different types of vehicles. With this being reduced to 5 tons, it pretty much would only be able to handle passenger vehicles and pickup trucks. So anything greater than that, it would not be able to carry the load of those vehicles. Well, here comes Aaron now.
There's more.
All right.
Sorry, Brent. Sorry to interrupt. So again, the posting is going to be, I'll say, drastically reduced, going from 20 tons down to 5 tons. This does show that this illustration shows that an average ambulance is 5 tons. We have been in contact during the closure. We've been in contact with area emergency responders. Most notably, when we had to close the bridge, we reached out to the Scioto Township Fire Department, the Ann Arbor Township Fire Department, and the City of Ann Arbor Fire Department. So we spoke to all of them. We are going to be circling back with all of them as our contractor comes in and mobilizes on the site, begins the work to remove the cable system. I will be contacting area emergency responders to better understand what apparatus they may have that would still be able to safely cross the bridge. So again, while this illustration shows the average weight of an ambulance as being 5 tons, I caution in just taking that information blindly, because I want to talk to area emergency response agencies. The other thing that I'll say certainly is going to be impacted is school buses. So again, we've reached out during the closure period to Ann Arbor Public Schools. I'm going to be speaking with the schools again and make sure that they understand that at 5 tons, they are not going to be able to bring a bus across the bridge. They're going to have to find an alternate route to get the school children to and from school in a safe manner. Next slide, please. And so another step we're going to take to try to protect the bridge from overload is we're going to establish some additional no-through truck routes. And so essentially what a no-through truck route restricts is it doesn't allow a truck to go from one point to another using a shortcut, if you will. It can't be used as a pass-through to get from one primary road to another. The only trucks that would be allowed on a no-through truck route would be those that are making local deliveries somewhere within that no-through truck area that they have to make a delivery to and from. Currently, there is a no-through truck route established along Huron River Drive. That's no-through trucks. We are going to be approaching our board, the Road Commission Board, as staff, and requesting that we establish additional no-through trucks on Maple Road, between Craig Road near Skyline High School, extending all the way north across the bridge, all the way up to Stein Road. So that entire length of Maple Road would become no-through trucks. Again, the intention is to highlight for commercial driver's license holders, truck drivers, CDL holders, that they should not be on that route. So again, that should further enhance. That would be in addition to the weight limit signs that will be posted that will clearly tell those drivers that the weight limit on the bridge is 5 tons. Next slide, please. So the funding for this project, I talked earlier in the presentation about the fact that Maple Road is a local county road. And as a local county road, if there's to be any improvement made, the Road Commission has to have a funding partner. Most often that funding partner is the township. However, in this case, we're not considering this to be an improvement. This is an emergency response to an unexpected failure of a structural component on this bridge. And therefore, we are not asking Ann Arbor Township to contribute to this work. The estimated cost for the work is $65,000. That would be in addition to the money that the Road Commission has already expended on working with 2 bridge design consultants to come up with the current plan. All of that funding is coming out of the Michigan Transportation Funds that the Road Commission receives. MTF revenue, as we refer to it, is generated based on registration fees on vehicles and the fuel tax, the state fuel tax. So again, that is being allocated from the Road Commission budget for this particular project. The next steps involved in the project is the contractor has committed to be on site this month. They're going to be on site in September, so this month, and they expect the work to take approximately 2 weeks. So the work should advance quickly. So the good news is that we expect the bridge to be reopened in the near future. Certainly it's reasonable, and the community, various members of the community have asked me what the intentions are for the future of the bridge. We do not currently know what the future of the bridge is. Again, the focus since the closure in June has been how we could safely and efficiently reopen the bridge to traffic. That has been our focus. For there to be a longer-term plan for the future for this crossing of the Huron River, there are going to have to be further conversations about where that funding would come from and what that scope of work would be. And again, in the past, the scope of work has been focused on the rehabilitation of the existing bridge. Speaking from my own experience back in the early 2000s, at that time, the community was very clear that they did not want the existing bridge replaced. They wanted the existing bridge to be retained, They wanted it to be rehabilitated, and the financial means of performing that work in 2003 were identified as funds coming from the Village of Arden Hills and the Road Commission. But again, I really don't want to get into a deep discussion or a deep dive on future intentions, because that's something that we're going to have to continue to discuss. The focus at this point is getting the bridge safely reopened for traffic.
Yes, I'm sorry, I could not unmute myself. That's interesting there. Okay, so yes, we're going to visit the project page, and you see that's Aaron Burkholt's contact information. Please definitely contact him if you have any questions. We're now going to go to how you can find and sign up and find this project and all the information there. I'm going to walk out of the presentation, and now I'm going to go into Google to show you where to find this information on our website. Bear with me. So when you go in your search, you're going to go wcroads.org. And then you're going to come to our website. There, roadwork and construction, current projects. Bear with us because, again, we're having some technical difficulties, so it's not as fast as it would be. And we appreciate all of your patience. Okay, so the current projects will load. There will be a map here. And then you'll go down to this project. You can see the Maple Foster Road Bridge. And then here is the project page. Here you'll see the location of work, Maple Road Foster Bridge. It's in Ann Arbor, 26, bridge preservation. It's a road closure with a detour. This virtual public meeting, clearly you're here. And you can go down, and we've been updating this project constantly, talking about what's going on, where we are, next steps. So you'll constantly get these bridge updates and what's happening with the bridge. Also, if you want to sign up to receive these in your email, one second. If you want to receive these in your email, subscribe to the project updates, click that button there, put your email address in, your name and your zip code, click on your township, and click on if you want some advisories or the weekly road work. And then if you find, you can scroll down to click the Maple Foster Road Bridge, and then you hit subscribe. That's also a way for you to get these project updates in your email. Also, we have our weekly road work schedule. That's where you can find out when work is beginning for the week of. This is where we put all of our information. It will be listed there because everything is going so slow. You can't see that. Again, this is it right here. We update this every Thursday. So that's how you'll know that this is updated. Okay, and now I'm going to go back into the presentation. And now we're going to open this up for the Q&A portion. If you're viewing this meeting on your computer, first make sure to click Join Audio. You can then raise your hand by clicking the Participants or Reactions button at the bottom of your screen, and then raise your hand, the Raise Your Hand button at the bottom of your screen. If you dialed into the meeting from your phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. As the meeting host, I will unmute participants with raised hands one at a time. And I will announce the username or your last 4 digits of your phone number when it's your turn to speak. We are happy to answer as many questions as possible, but please be respectful of each other's time. If you have a question that has been already answered, you can click the lower hand button or hit *9. All right, we're going to begin in 1 second. Let's see. I'm actually admitting. I have a few questions and I'm admitting some folks in. Okay, so Emma, I'm going to actually ask you to unmute. 1 second. Go ahead. Go ahead, Emma. Oh, I think I hit There you go. Go ahead.
Yeah,
There.
this is State Representative Jennifer Conlon here with Emma as my legislative director, and I live right in this area on Stein Road. So thank you so much for this update for constituents and all of us in that neighborhood. It sounded, I saw a good question in the chat, like what stops a larger truck from actually going over that might ignore the sign or not see the sign, and how do we make sure that doesn't happen? But also, it seemed like you mentioned something about in that neighborhood, if somebody does, there could be an exception made for certain trucks to come over for people trying to reach that neighborhood. There is a way to get obviously into that Barton Hills area from Whitmore Lake Road. But anyway, I just wanted a little clarification if I could have it on that aspect.
Certainly. And thank you. So again, I want to speak in general. There have been many questions regarding the weight restriction and enforcement. And unfortunately, we have bridges throughout Washtenaw County and throughout the state of Michigan that have some type of a weight restriction in place. The consistent means of conveying that information to the drivers of the vehicles is through effective signage and through maps. The Road Commission has a truck operators map that is kept up to date. That's available on our website. In addition, anytime a truck needs to, there needs to be a move of an overweight or an overwidth, a sizable load, they have to apply for a permit to do so. So again, those are the controls that are in place to basically convey to the drivers of those vehicles the weight limit on a bridge. That's not to say a driver can't disregard that, and that's very difficult to enforce. The Road Commission has 2 waymasters as part of our staff. Those waymasters patrol the entire county. In addition, the sheriff also has some capability to enforce weight limitations. But again, it can be difficult because really we are relying on these CDL holders, these professional drivers, to not break the law, to comply with posted restrictions. That is their responsibility. Again, our hope is that by installing the no through truck signs and enhancing that no through truck route, that we further convey to truck drivers that they should not be in this area. To the question regarding deliveries to the north side, to the community north of the bridge, again, the driver, even if he's making a local delivery to the north side of the bridge, that truck cannot violate the posted limit on the bridge. They would have to take an alternate route. And as you mentioned, they would have to potentially come off of Whitmore Lake Road onto Stein Road so as to not violate the 5-ton weight restriction on the bridge.
Okay, thank you, Burke. I'm going to go back and forth between the chat and the hands raised. So David asked about ambulances critical to the public safety. He wanted to know anything in reference to that. I think you did respond to that, but I just want to reiterate that for the people who have not, who might have joined late. Burke, if you can talk about ambulances crossing the bridge when you reopen it.
Certainly. And on the example on the illustration that was included in this presentation, it showed an ambulance as being 5 tons. Again, as I mentioned, I'm going to be speaking again with area emergency responders to discuss the size of their apparatus and whether or not any of that can cross the bridge safely at a 5-ton weight restriction. Ambulances, to the best of my knowledge, are deployed from a variety of locations. If you're looking at like the Huron Valley ambulance, it's not necessarily coming from south of the bridge. It may be coming to the location of the call from the north side of the bridge. The other thing that I'll mention is there are mutual aid agreements in place between like the Scioto Township Fire Department and the Ann Arbor Township Fire Department and the Dexter Township Fire Department. So again, through those mutual aid contracts, those agreements, that often can assist area fire departments, emergency responders in taking the best route to overcome something like a bridge weight restriction.
Thank you. I got another one with what penalties will exist for truck violators?
And again, should a truck be identified as having crossed the bridge in excess of the weight limit, that's something where they would be penalized. Again, the difficult part is catching that truck when it's going to cross the bridge. Just to reiterate what I mentioned before, In large part, these weight restrictions on this bridge or any other bridge are relying on that CDL holder, that truck driver, to comply with the law. Should they choose to not comply with the law, they are indeed putting themselves at risk. They are putting the bridge at risk. But again, that is not only the Maple Road Bridge. That is any bridge that has a weight limit on it.
Thank you. I'm going to ask David to unmute 1 second. Go ahead, David. Go ahead, David. No? Okay, I'm going to go to Susan. Okay, Susan, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Go ahead.
Hi, I think I'm here.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. My question also references something that someone put in the chat. What do things like contractors, towing trailers, lawn care, are those things liable to be within the weight limit or outside the weight limit? That's my normal route to Skyline. So I'm kind of curious about like, what's the failure mode here as well? If somebody does use it overweight, if it becomes weak, what happens there? How do we know that's a problem?
And again, thank you, Susan. We rely on those that are moving loads, like even a lawn care service that's using a larger pickup that might be pulling a trailer with a couple zero-turn mowers on it. It's their responsibility as a driver to know what the load of their vehicle plus the trailer is. I want to reassure everyone that at the 5-ton weight limit, we were being very conservative in posting that. Part of the reason that we were being conservative in establishing that as the posted limit was because this bridge, to some extent, has relied on the cable post tensioning system for over 20 years now. And so as we considered the bridge without that system, we wanted to be very thoughtful, be very conservative in that regard. So again, we do feel confident that the 5-ton weight limit is a reliable and safe limit to impose on this bridge. The other thing I want to mention is this bridge is inspected on a very frequent basis. Most bridges, and this bridge included, they're included in the National Bridge Inspection System, NIBS. And so basically that requires that any bridge within that system be inspected on a 2-year cycle. However, any bridge that has a weight restriction, and particularly a bridge with a severe weight restriction like this, is inspected much more frequently. We inspect this bridge every 6 months. So again, in regards to the question about if the bridge is overloaded, does that impact, does it weaken the bridge? We are frequently inspecting this bridge to keep an eye on the condition of it. We spoke earlier about the help of the bystander, likely a boater who reported that cable being broken. That was in June. We had just inspected the bridge in May. So in May, there was no broken cable. In June, the cable was broken. So again, we do keep a close eye on the bridge. We appreciate the community keeping a close eye on